Hello everyone. I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Welcome back for Creative Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me here today on YouTube or on Facebook, please drop me a comment. Let me know that you're here joining me today. I always love to know who's here watching and who's joining me for our live card class. My name is Jana Edwards, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas. You'll have to forgive my voice today. I think the weather is changing outside, and whenever it does, the pressure in my head gets a little crazy, and my voice gets a little hoarse. So anyway, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to have to fix my camera real quick. I need to add a camera, so give me just a second. I thought I had all of this done, but I guess I didn't. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to add my camera here, fix it, get it straight, zoom in for you guys a little bit. Okay, I think that is good. Okay, should be good. Sorry about that. I was trying to get everything set up beforehand, and I was in one screen and then got out of it, so I apologize. When I got back in, I didn't pick up my second screen again so you guys can see my desktop. Anyway, like I said, today is Creative Thursday. I go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. for coffee and a card, and then Thursdays at 2 o'clock. I pick a product, usually a bundle. I pick a Stampin' Up! Product every week to showcase, and we create one card on Monday, and then we create 3 additional projects on Thursday. I do offer this as a class kit to go. These projects as a class kit to go, and what that means is if you place an order, a $50 order in my online store by Saturday, I will send you the kits to create these cards. Now, you do need the bundle that we're using in order to complete the cards exactly as mine, or you can substitute with something that you have that you already have in your stash. But I will send you all of the cardstock and any embossing or die cuts that are not in the bundle that we're using, okay? So I'm going to turn my camera down so you guys can see my desktop. There we go. And I'm going to go over just a few of the promotions that Stampin' Up! Has right now. Right now, Stampin' Up! Is offering a starter kit. If you've ever thought of purchasing a starter kit, becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, now is the perfect time to do it. The special is running from May 6th to May 31st, and Stampin' Up! Is offering $165 in product of your choice. You go through and you pick any products that you would like, $165 worth of products for $99. You get free shipping. Once you're signed up as a demonstrator, you receive 20% discount on all of your future orders, and 20% on customer orders and family member orders. Okay, you also receive Stampin' rewards, so you'll receive 10% back on your purchases in Stampin' rewards, and you can accumulate those Stampin' rewards. You can save them up for an entire year. You get early access to new products, and best of all, you get to be a part of my amazing Stampin' Up! Team. I would love to have you on my team. But it's a great way if you think you're going to place an order, that you've been eyeballing a lot of the products that you love and you want to spend the money, you want to place an order. It's $99 and you you get $165 worth of stuff plus free shipping. You get business materials. You don't have to run it as a business. You don't ever have to have a class. You can be a hobby demo if you want. So if you want more information about that, let me see if I can. You can go to stampininc.com and there is a link that says join or starter kit. I believe on my blog it says starter kit, or there's also a link in the description of the video. Okay, so you can click those links. If you have any questions, you can also email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions. It's jana@stampininc.com. Okay, let's see. I'm going to throw my gum out real quick. I forgot I had gum in my mouth, so let me do that real quick. I'm going to spit that out. Okie dokie. Also, the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I seriously just had my catalog. What did I do with it? Hold on. It's right here. The new Stampin' Up! Catalog just went live May the 6th. So that's another great thing. If you sign up as a demonstrator, you can order any of the items from the new catalog. Okay? If you need a copy of the catalog, there should be a link for you to click to fill out, to go fill out a catalog request form for me and fill that out, and I will be happy to send you a catalog. I'm excited to use this bundle right here. Let me show you. It is, where is it? This should be coming. This one is on its way. So we're going to do some, I'm going to create a class with this one, and we'll do some extra other things with that. Let's see. This week right here is what we're going to be working with next week. So Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm also working on a class kit for you to purchase. Okay? So this week we are using the Grow with Love bundle. Trying to hold it to where I don't get the glare. I have so the bundle comes with the stamp set and the dies. All right, we are also going to be using, sorry, I've been super tired lately. I don't know what it is, but I have been really tired. We're also going to be using the new Damask embossing folder today. So we're going to be using that. And we are going to be using the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 pack of Designer Series paper, and it's gingham and plaid. And then some of it is checks and plaid, but it has some really pretty colors. This Designer Series paper coordinates with the Storybook Moments. It was in our mini catalog, our last mini catalog. So it coordinates with that suite. Okay, let me show you the cards that we're going to be creating today. Let me take these out here real quick. There is a blog post, I believe yesterday. There's a couple of blog posts, and there were also some blog posts or some social media posts. So these are the products we're going to be working with today. Hold, please. Gotta get this out of my way. I'm going to move this right over here. So we'll have it. And move that back over there. Okay, so these are the cards that we're going to be creating today. We're going to create this cute little seed packet card. Can you see the little seed packet there? So cute. Okay, So we'll create these 3 cards today. Like I said, this is the card that we created during Monday's Coffee and a Card. So these 4 cards, you'll get all of the pre-cut cardstock and die cuts that aren't in the bundle. If it's not a die cut that's not included in the bundle, I will die cut it and send it with your kit. Also, any embossing will come with the kit. But I can't send stamped images. Stampin' Up! Will not allow us to send stamped images. It's against their policy. Hang on just one second. I'm thinking we're going to get some rain or something because I feel pressure building up in my ears. Okay, hang on just a second. Hang on, guys. My neighbor's at the door. Hold on just one second. Sorry about that. I'm back. Oh, look what she brought me. She brought me some beautiful eggs. Her chickies laid eggs. And it's so funny because I just ate my last 2 eggs this morning. How pretty are those? That was so sweet of her. Okay, I'm going to set these over here so that I don't drop them and get them on everything. All right. Where was I? Hold on. Let me get back here. Okay, so sorry about that. So these are the cards that we're going to create, and I was telling you about the kits. If you place a $50 order on my online store, I will send you 1 kit each for each one of these cards, all right? So let's get started. We're going to start with this card here. I don't have, if I remember the measurements, I will tell you. If I don't, you'll get a PDF when you, with your purchase, with your kit. I will also send out an emailed PDF, okay? So if I remember the measurements, I'll tell you. If I don't, I won't hold us up by trying to figure everything out, okay? So in your kit, you'll receive, I went ahead and pre-cut, but you'll receive a piece of cardstock or a piece of designer series paper, a full 6x6 sheet. Yeah, I think is how we did it. And then you'll need to die cut. You'll get a piece of cardstock, a piece of thick white cardstock, old olive cardstock to cut out your banners or your labels. And then you'll receive these 3 die cuts. These are from the Everyday Arches die. So you'll receive these 3 die cuts in your pack. And then you'll receive 2 pieces of old olive cardstock and then a piece of cardstock for stamping. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I have a card base that is, what is this? 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm scored it at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to burnish here. Then I'm going to go ahead and start our stamping. Okay, so we are going to use these 2 to stamp, and then I'm also going to use this scrap piece here to do some stamping. I'm going to use Old Olive ink. Put this over here so you guys, everybody can see what we're creating. How does that sound? Okay. So I'm going to use my Old Olive ink. I'm going to move our pieces over there. I'm going to use Old Olive. And I'm using think we're using the basil stamp. All right. So I'm going to stamp the basil twice on my cardstock here because I'm going to die cut it twice. Okay. And it doesn't matter, like here I messed up. I didn't get the words all the way. It's okay because when we die cut this, the die is only going to cut out the foliage, okay? And it doesn't, it's not gonna, the words won't show at the bottom because we're gonna cover it up with our label anyway. Then I'm gonna stamp in the smaller cutout arch. I'm going to stamp the basil kind of up towards the top of the arch. Okay, let's set that aside. Then I'm going to grab our sentiment that says, thanks so much for your love and care. We're going to ink that up in some old olive ink. And I'm going to stamp it closer to the left side because we're going to trim the right edge off of the label. Okay? Probably going to get my head down in there. And it's a little crooked. Do I have, and I don't think I have an extra leg. It's okay. It'll be all right. Then I'm going to use the basil one more time. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to stamp right here in the corner on our biggest arch. Okay, so now we have all of our stamping done. Away. I'm going to go ahead and clean these stamps so I don't get ink all over the place. So sweet. I'm so touched by my neighbor's kindness. That was really sweet to bring chicky eggs. She said her chickens laid extra eggs. All right, so I'm going to grab the die. I'm going to, I believe it is it this one? Yes. All right. I'm going to bring this over. And line this up. I was opening a box earlier. My little knife got left out. All right, so there's one. And one more. I want to get an extra table in here so I can have, I can invite people over to come craft with me in my craft room. So I'm looking for a little round table. All right, I'm gonna save this so we can use it on our other 3 projects. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna start building our card. So I have a piece of cardstock that is, what is this, 4 by 5 1/4. And these strips, what I did, I took a piece of designer series paper that was, sorry, I'll figure this out for you. It's easier for me to, so it's a 4, is that right? 4.5 by 3 3/4. I would have done 5, so the next layer up from, so if you go 4 by 5 1/4, the next layer on top of that is typically 3 3/4 by 5. So I went 3 3/4 by 4.5 so that I could get these cut the same width and then leave some space between them. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle piece, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive for this. Why? Because you have wiggle room when you go to put your piece of cardstock down. You have wiggle room. So I'm going to line this one up and move it around. So I need to move it up some. Okay, I'm going to take this and add some glue, some adhesive to the back of it. And then glue this down. I'm trying to leave 1/4 of an inch of space, the bottom and the sides. All right. And then one more. You see what I did? I put glue on the wrong side. Dang it. Okay, well, let's fix that. So we need, where's my ruler? I need three 3/4 by 1.5. So I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch piece here. And then we're going to cut it down to 3 3/4. I'm just using my I'm drawing a blank today, guys. My paper trimmer over here to the side. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Now I'm going to add some glue to the back of this cardstock layer. And I'm going to glue it down right in the center. My gap is wider here at the bottom. So I put it more towards the bottom. I put it towards the bottom of the card. So that way when we layer everything, it's going to cover it up. Okay. So I want to take and I want to layer my two arches together like this. Can I zoom in just a little bit more? Okay, so I'm going to use my liquid adhesive and add some liquid adhesive on the back of the smaller. I use thick white cardstock to cut this out. And I'm going to layer that in the center. I love these everyday arches. They have come in and gone out of stock several times. And Stampin' Up! Is offering a new feature now that if there's something that you want and it's out of stock, you can click a little box for them to notify you when the product comes back into stock. Okay. I want to add these two just like this. I'm going to add some mini dimensionals to the back of them. Take these backings off. And I'm going to use my reverse tweezers just to help me position. Okay. I'm adding just a little bit of glue to these leaves because when I lay them down on my layer, I want them to be secure and flush with the other side of they're going to stick right here on this other leaf. Beautiful. Put that there. Now I want to trim the edge of this off. Just using my paper trimmer to trim the edge off, and I cut it down to 2 1 2 3/8. Now the pharmacy's calling me. Okie dokie. Throw that in the garbage. I want to stamp a dimensional on my finger. I want to layer this just like this so that you see this little border here. So I'm going to use my liquid glue again, and I'm only going to add liquid glue to like the bottom half of the sentiment because I want to be able to layer that right there. Then, okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue this label down to the card front. I glue it over to the right. Kind of off-centered, so that way when we put our label here, I'm going to add a dimensional here at the bottom. And then I'm going to add some glue, liquid adhesive to the top here. Just like this. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab this arch and this piece of old olive cardstock, and we're gonna layer this on the inside before we finish embellishing our outside. Woo. Too fast. Okay, now I'm gonna grab our linen thread. I keep linen thread in my stash because I love it. It's my favorite. This and the Very Vanilla and Basic Black Gingham ribbon, my two favorites. I did, however, get all the ribbon for the new end colors. I'll show you those at the end of our projects. I'll pull those out and show them to you. Very pretty. Okay, grab my scissors and I'm going to cut this little tail so that we have two tails. Here comes my little puppy again. Grab a glue dot. It is my friend Donna Weiss. It is her birthday today, so shout out and happy birthday to Miss Donna. I wish we were in Missouri. We were closer so that we could spend some time together, take her out to dinner for her birthday. But she up and moved on us, so you know. Okay, I'm going to take and I'm going to add just some embellishments. These are our adhesive backed textured dots. I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just add a couple of these to our card front. There we go. That's not going to stay because the little dot stayed. Okay, well, let's try again. There we go. There's our first card. Isn't that cute? So cute. I love, it's the perfect time because, you know, people are planting their gardens. And so you have your, I think the neighbor across the street, she has this big area in the front by their driveway. And I think it's full of herbs. And then they have a huge garden in the back. And goodness gracious, she never stops. I want her energy. Let's put it that way. Okay. Next card, we are going to work on this one here. We are going to start in your kit. You will have I'm going to go ahead and take this. You will have a pretty peacock base. Go ahead and fold that and burnish that edge. If you would like a chance to win these cards, just like, comment, and share, and I will draw a winner on Monday next week. So like, comment, and share on either this video or Monday's coffee and a card video, and I will either on YouTube or Facebook, and I will enter your name into the drawing for a set of the handmade cards from this week. Just a note on Facebook, if we are not friends on Facebook or you're not a follower of my page, I cannot see who shared it. So if you share, thank you so much, but make sure that you also leave a comment, shared or whatever. Hey, I'm so-and-so from wherever you're from. Okay? All right. So you'll get your pretty peacock base. You will have a basic beige layer. You're going to have 2 pieces of the designer series paper. You'll have another piece of, and my trimmer, I think I need to change my blades. It's either the blades or it's the fibers in this basic beige cardstock, but I get it's almost like distressed on the edges. And then you'll have these 2 pieces for the inside. So let's go ahead and layer these on, and we'll do the inside of the card real quick to get that out of the way. So I'm going to use just liquid adhesive. We'll build this layer just like this. And we're taking a little strip of the designer series paper. This will be in your kit also. And I'm going to add this to the bottom of this piece of thick white cardstock, just to finish off the inside of the card and make it look pretty too, because you have this really pretty outside card, and you know, you want the inside to be just as pretty. I'm gonna open this up and just layer that right on the inside. So you have a place to write your sentence, you know, your words, your greeting. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do our stamping and cutting. I'm going to set these pieces aside over here, and we're going to do our stamping. I need my sponge daubers. I have brand new sponge daubers. Okay, now we're going to use, I believe this one is the mint. So we're going to use the mint. I'm going to take Pretty Peacock. And Old Olive. So I'm going to do my old olive first. I'm going to ink up my sponge dauber here. And then I'm just going to add some ink to my stamp. And then I'm going to go in with Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to add some ink to the stamp. Then I'm going to stamp the image onto the white cardstock. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing one more time. Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to stamp right here. Okay, and I got it all over my fingers. I am sure I'm not the only person who gets ink all over their fingers when they stamp, right? Set these aside, let them dry. Clean this off so I can put it back in the little box over here. All right, now I'm going to take this scrap piece of basic beige that you will get in your kit. I'm going to take the outline for our label, and what did I stamp that in? Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to grab Pretty Peacock again, set that over there, and we're going to stamp our border, and we're going to stamp our sentiment. While these are drying, I'm just giving it time to soak into the cardstock. I'm going to grab my machine, and I'm going to use this embossing folder, and since it is not a 3D embossing folder, I don't need plate number 2. I just need plate number 1 and 2 of the plate number 3s. I'm going to grab my embossing folder, and I'm going to line that up. And roll it through our machine. Okay. Guess we need to cut out our other images, right? Be helpful if we did that. Okay, let me see if I can get this all on here. Okay, I need my small label, here, this label here, and then I need the mint piece. We'll cut the mint out twice. I'm using Post-it note just to secure it so it doesn't move. To me, there's nothing more annoying than to get your projects all stamped and on your paper, and then you run it through your die cut machine and your die slips, or, you know, it's not held in place right or whatever. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to do one more little piece right here. I'm excited, guys. Our team did a card swap with all of the new products from the Stampin' catalog, and I should have those card swaps sometime next week. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what everybody on our team has created. All right. There's that one. And these, you know, you'll notice from the original card I'll show you, you'll notice that the colors will be a little different, because when you use your sponge daubers to add ink like we did, your coloring is never the same. So it's almost like your plants, you know, when your plants grow, one leaf never looks the same as the other. So in your stamping, when you use the sponge daubers like that to add color, it's never going to look uniform, because you can't tell, you know, where you're adding the ink at, right? All right, so we have all these now. All cut out, and I can use this piece. I cut that off there. We can use that scrap for something else. Could probably get one more label out of that middle, so I'm going to save this in my little scrap bin here. And I'm going to step over here for just a second and open the door and let my little puppy in. Come on in. Come on. Go lay down. Get in your bed. Okay. So I'm going to use my liquid adhesive, and we're just going to start layering and get everything together. Now that we have everything cut out, okay. The measurements, you'll receive a PDF when you get the card kit. If you place a $50 order in my online store, I'll send you a card kit as a free thank you for your order, and the PDF, you'll get the PDF with your, I'll email it to you so that you'll have all the measurements for the cards and everything. I'm gonna glue the left one. So I'm gonna put one on the left side and one on the right side. So I'm gonna glue this one down, and then I'm gonna pop the other one up with dimensionals. Oopsie, I dropped one. Oh, I need to add one more to the top right here. Add a dimensional to this side here, and some glue to this side here. Okay. Grab some linen thread. Make ourselves a double bow. Grab a glue dot. That right there. Then we're going to grab our dimensionals. Or, sorry, not dimensionals. We're going to grab our embellishments. And there we go. There's our third card. I mean, our second card. And there's the inside. But you see, so on this, you can see I went a little heavier. With this card, I went a little heavier with the pretty peacock. And on this one, you can really see the green more. Okay, now I'm going to sit back down here for a minute. Okay, so now we are going to, oh, I almost shoved this one off the, where's my card? Where's my card? Here it is. Now we're going to create this cute seed packet card right here. Okay, see this? Okay. Hang on just a second. Okie dokie. So in your kit, you will receive your kit will come with the envelopes too. So you'll receive your envelope for all your cards. For this card, you're going to receive a a basic beige card base. I think I used basic beige on 2 of the cards and Pretty Peacock on 1. I tried to keep it all with the same card base. Then you're going to receive 2 pieces of early espresso, 1 piece of, this one is for stamping. Hold on. Hold, please. Okay, I need to cut another. Hold on. I gotta grab the other piece of white cardstock. We're gonna do 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry, I'm just stepping over here using my paper trimmer to cut this cardstock down. Okay, so this will go on the inside of the card. And then you'll also receive this little, I think it's 2 1/4 inch. I had a package of the little note cards and envelopes. And so I just took that note card and I cut it down to 2 1/4 because it's the perfect size for this. Stampin' Up! Sells them their note cards and envelopes, and they're smaller than a regular size card. See, they're a lot smaller than what we make our cards. And so I basically just took this and cut off 2 1/4 inches because it's the perfect size to fit inside that seed packet. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some stamping. Okay. Remember I said I was going to save that little scrap piece? Guess what? We're going to use that to stamp our next sentiment. We're going to use that to stamp our sentiment again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do some stamping. So we need this one. Do I have a scrap piece of thick cardstock that I can stamp on? Yes, I believe that will fit. So I don't have to waste a whole half a sheet. Okay. So we're going to stamp on these 3 pieces here. I'm going to use the You're on My Mind again. I'm going to move all these pieces out of the way. Set them over here. The time and outline. So I'm going to grab my early espresso ink. Open that up. And I'm going to ink up my border image. And I'm going to stamp it right in the center of this card. Okay. Then I'm going to take, I want to do it in brown. I did one in brown and I did one in green. I think I'm going to do them both in green this time. Nope, because my rosemary needs to be, nope, I'm going to do them both in Old Olive this time. I'm going to change it up just to see what it looks like. Gonna go rogue. All right. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. These stamps, these rubber stamps, if you can see here, they have an edge on them. So your ink will, you can either, there's two things you can do. You can take a pair of scissors and you can trim that extra rubber off of there very carefully. Or when you stamp, just make sure that you go down and straight up. Don't rock. Don't push too hard. You just go down and straight up. And notice I didn't get the full image here. That's okay because our other is going to cover it up. And I think this one we use rosemary, but this time I'm using the thyme. Okay. So I'm going to go down and just make sure I have a good image. This one will not matter because we are going to cut that out, okay, with a die. And I forgot to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. My poor baby, she's down there. It's time for her annual, my little dog, it's time for her annual checkup with the vet. So she has to go next week and she'll get all of her flea stuff next week. But I found a flea on her the other day and she has been scratching and she's not happy. So she needs a bath too. Right now she's over there trying to, does anybody else have a little dog that they root under the covers until they get all covered up? That's what she's doing over there. So if you hear her tags, she's trying to get under her covers. All right. All clean. Move those out of the way. Now, I am going to grab my dies for these. So I need a little label die and I need is it this one? Yeah, it's this one, the time. And then I'm going to cut our pocket out of this piece of designer series paper using this big die right here. Okay, so let's cut these first. I need that to come over just a little bit more. No matter how many times I do that, it always scares me. So when you cut, I don't know if you can see, but it also leaves the score lines for you. It kind of scores the paper for you too, which is nice. All right, then I'm gonna have this like this. I'm gonna use this little piece here and a piece of early espresso, and we're gonna cut out our little dots. Our little fasteners. And grab another little bowl here. Remember when we used to use brads in scrapbooking, card making? You could also put a brad in this if you know in the center, but I'm just going to use a paper piercing tool and we're just going to poke a hole in the center. Once we get that all together. Okay, move this out of the way, move this out of the way. So now we have it all together. I'm going to set this aside. Take all of our pieces out. Okay, now we go ahead and start assembling this. All right, move these pieces over here. So I'm going to take I'm going to layer this. Right there on the inside. Then I'm going to layer this. Right on top of that piece on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to grab our piece of designer series paper. And we're going to add some adhesive to this. We're going to layer this on top of this right in the center here. I'm going to take some twine. And I'm going to this right there. tie our bow. And I probably use way too much twine, but that's okay. Linen thread. Okay, I'm gonna cut this here. Then I'm gonna straighten this out. I'm gonna move it over as far to the left as I can. Just like so. Cut my little tails off here and here. Whenever I loop my thread or ribbon across the back, I like to use some tear and tape to hold the ribbon down so it doesn't move and you get a good seal on the back of the card. So I'm going to use this over the ribbon. Then I'm going to grab, you could use your liquid glue, just, you know, for the sake of time, I'm using my Stampin' Seal for this project. All right. Now I'm going to take this off. This seed packet is also large enough to put a gift card in. So if you want to just leave it on the front and just add a gift card, you could do that. All right. So I'm going to grab my bone folder. Add some seal to that side right there. And then I'm going to fold this bottom up. Seal that closed. Then I'm going to grab my tweezers, if I can find them. Okay. Grab my tweezers. I'm going to take my little circle. I'm going to adhere that down. Then I'm going to grab my piercing mat. Okay, grab my piercing mat, and I'm going to take just the pokey end of my Chick Pick tool, and I'm just going to go right through that circle so that when I flip it over to do the other circle, add some glue to this one. You can see where the center of your hole needs to be. Okay. There we go. Okie dokie. I'm going to take a piece of twine. Feed it through that hole. Now you could use a dental flosser. I've seen people. And I did this right away. The first one, my first card, went right in. Dang it. If there is a piece of cardstock in there that's in the way. There we go. I'm going to tie just another bow. Right there at the top. I'm going to snip that off. How did I put this on there? Oh, okay. Then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. I have this end piece right here. And put that right in the center. Okay, then I want to take a few dimensionals on this. Penny, hold on, baby. I think she needs to go outside. I'm so glad that you guys are still here with me if you've stuck around. Don't forget, if you are watching the replay, you can watch it in double time. Okay, so now I'm going to layer this right across the middle. I'm going to put a dimensional on each side so that the middle stays flush with the floral image, okay? So I'm just going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here, one on the left, one on the right. And we're going to stick it down just like that. Then I'm going to grab my embellishments. And I'm going to add one right here, and then two of the smaller ones. One here, and one right down there. And then you just take your little card and stick it right inside the pocket. Isn't that cute? So cute. Okay. Just remember, if you want the card kit for all 4 of the cards for this week, just place a $50 order in my online store and I will send you the kit for all 4 of these cards, minus the stamped images. You will need to have the bundle. You'll need to have the bundle that we use, the Grow with Love bundle, in order to complete the projects exactly like I've completed mine, or use something that you already have in your stash, right? I hope that you enjoyed being here with me today. I enjoy putting this content out for you. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. It helps with my, it helps with the engagement so that for your algorithm and everything. And I'm just getting started. If you haven't subscribed, I'm really trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of May. I'm at 54 right now. So please, if you like my content, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. If you want to be entered into the drawing for the completed handmade cards for this week, please like, share, or comment on the video. If you're not a subscriber, and if you're not a subscriber, I don't think I can see that you've shared, but if you comment, I think I can see it. If you don't follow me on Facebook, I can't see that you've shared. I can't see who shared the video. So make sure that you're following my Facebook page, you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so that I can enter you in the drawing for this week for these handmade cards. I think that's it. Don't forget, if you want to purchase the starter kit, the starter kit special it's an amazing deal right now. It's $165. $165 worth of product for $99, and I would love to have you as a part of my team. There are links in the description for everything. Sign up for my email newsletter list. I send out a free project sheet every week for the card that we create on Monday. And anyway, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week. Don't forget to check my blog for more updates also. And happy stamping. We'll see you next week. Bye.